What if everything you've been told about reality is a carefully crafted illusion? What if the greatest power in the universe isn't hidden in distant galaxies, but within you? Before it's too late, you need to understand the truth that has been hidden from humanity for thousands of years. A truth so powerful that those who discovered it were silenced, while those who mastered it have shaped our world from the shadows. This isn't about religion. It isn't about faith. It's about the fundamental nature of reality itself and your forgotten ability to shape it with your mind. The greatest minds throughout history discovered a shocking truth. The universe isn't just observed by consciousness. It's created by it. Your thoughts aren't just in your head. They're shaping the world around you in ways science is only beginning to understand. But there's a villain in this story. Not a person, but a belief. The crippling illusion that you are powerless, that reality is fixed and unchangeable. This lie has been carefully maintained for centuries, keeping humanity trapped in a prison without walls. Why has this knowledge been suppressed? Because true power never resides in institutions or authorities. It lives within individuals, and those who control our systems of belief have always understood a frightening truth. If everyone realized their ability to shape reality, the entire power structure would crumble overnight. Modern quantum physics has rediscovered what ancient mystics always knew. The famous double-slit experiment revealed something impossible. Particles of matter behave differently when observed. Reality itself changes based on consciousness. The observer doesn't just perceive reality. The observer creates it. Think about the implications. If consciousness shapes reality, if observation determines what exists, then your beliefs, your thoughts, your very attention is not just witnessing the world, it's creating it. You've been living with godlike power while believing you were powerless. For thousands of years, from the mystery schools of ancient Egypt to the secret teachings of Greece, initiates were carefully selected to receive this knowledge. They understood that the universe is fundamentally mental, a projection of thought, and that by mastering your mind, you could literally reshape your experience. But today, most people live as unconscious creators, manifesting by accident rather than design, trapped in limiting beliefs, reacting to circumstances rather than generating them. The difference between where you are now and where you could be is simply this: awareness of your true nature as a reality-shaping consciousness. The ancient Hermetic texts revealed 7 universal principles governing reality. The first and most important is the principle of mentalism. The all is mind. The universe is mental. This isn't metaphorical. It's the fundamental nature of existence. Everything you experience is first and foremost a mental phenomenon, shaped by consciousness itself. This isn't some feel-good philosophy. It's the operating system of existence, and once you truly understand it, not intellectually, but experientially, you'll never see yourself or your life the same way again. You are not just an observer of your reality. You are its creator. Throughout history, humanity has evolved through stages of understanding. First, we feared reality as the domain of capricious gods. Then, we surrendered to it as divine will. Later, we studied it as fixed physical laws. But now we enter the final stage, conscious creation. The recognition that reality is responsive to mind. The great deception, the villain in your story, isn't some external force. It's the deeply ingrained belief that you are a victim of circumstances, rather than their creator. This single misunderstanding has kept humanity in chains, while the keys to freedom have always been within reach. This isn't conspiracy theory, it's hidden history. Texts like the Book of Enoch were deliberately removed from religious canons. The Emerald Tablet, with its secrets of reality manipulation, was relegated to occult corners. The Egyptian Book of the Dead was mistranslated and misrepresented. Why? Because knowledge is power, and this knowledge is the greatest power of all. Now you stand at a threshold. In the coming minutes, you'll discover the 7 universal principles that govern reality manipulation. Principles verified by quantum physics and neuroscience, but known to ancient masters for millennia. You'll learn practical techniques to reshape your experience using nothing but your consciousness. And you'll understand why this moment in human history is critical for this knowledge to spread. Before it's too late, before you spend another day trapped in a reality you didn't consciously choose, it's time to reclaim your God-given power. The power to shape reality itself. The power that has always been yours, waiting to be remembered. The 7 universal laws aren't religious dogma or New Age fantasy. They're the operating system of reality itself, as real as gravity, as practical as mathematics. Ancient masters encoded them in texts like the Kybalion, but they exist independently of any belief system. They simply are, and once you understand them, your relationship with reality changes forever. The first principle is mentalism. The all is mind. The universe is mental. This is the foundation of everything. Reality isn't physical at its core, it's mental. The material world you experience is a projection of consciousness, like a dream, but more stable and consistent because it's created by both individual and collective minds. Modern quantum physics has verified this principle. The famous double-slit experiment shows that matter behaves differently when observed versus unobserved. Particles exist as probability waves until consciousness interacts with them. In other words, physical reality waits for mind to determine what it becomes. This isn't philosophy. It's laboratory-proven science. The practical application is revolutionary. Your thoughts aren't just passive observations. They're creative forces. When you truly understand this, you stop being a victim of circumstances and become their author. Health problems, financial struggles, relationship difficulties, these aren't random bad luck. They're manifestations of consciousness, both individual and collective. The second principle is correspondence. As above, so below. As below, so above. This reveals that patterns repeat across all scales of existence. The same organizational principles that shape galaxies also govern atoms, ecosystems, human societies, and individual lives. Your body, your relationships, your financial situation, all follow the same patterns as cosmic systems. Look at fractals in nature. The branching pattern of trees mirrors your blood vessels, which mirror river systems, which mirror neural networks. This isn't coincidence, it's correspondence. Your personal challenges mirror cosmic forces. Your relationships mirror atomic interactions. Understanding this principle allows you to solve problems at one level by addressing their corresponding pattern at another level. This principle reveals your true place in the cosmos. You are a microcosm of the universe itself. By understanding the patterns in your personal life, you gain insight into universal laws. And by studying universal patterns, you can reshape your individual experience. When ancient texts said humans were made in the image of God, they weren't speaking of physical form, but of this corresponding pattern that connects all scales of existence. The third principle is vibration. Nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. From the densest rock to the most refined thought, everything in existence vibrates at specific frequencies. Modern physics confirms this. What appears solid is actually atoms in constant motion, vibrating at particular rates. Your thoughts and emotions are also vibrations, but at higher frequencies than physical matter. This principle explains why your emotional state is so powerful in shaping your reality. Fear, anger, and despair vibrate at lower frequencies, while love, joy, and gratitude vibrate higher. Like attracts like. Your dominant vibrational state attracts corresponding experiences. This isn't mystical thinking, it's pattern matching. Your brain is constantly filtering reality based on your expectations, which are set by your vibrational state. The practical power of this principle is immense. By consciously raising your vibration through gratitude, visualization, coupled with emotion, meditation, and service to others, you literally tune yourself to a different frequency band of reality. This isn't just feeling better, it's shifting what you can perceive and attract. Higher vibrational states allow you to see opportunities invisible to those in lower states, and naturally magnetize experiences matching that frequency. The fourth principle is polarity. Everything is dual. Everything has poles. Everything has its pair of opposites. This reveals that apparent opposites are actually different degrees of the same thing. Heat and cold are varying degrees of temperature. Light and darkness are degrees of illumination. Love and hate are intensities of the same emotional energy. This isn't philosophical wordplay. It's a practical tool for transformation. Once you grasp this principle, you gain the power of mental transmutation, the ability to consciously transform one mental state into another. Fear isn't the opposite of courage. It's the same energy at a different frequency. By understanding this, You can shift fear into excitement, depression into creative introspection, hate into passionate commitment. You're not fighting against an emotion. You're simply adjusting its frequency, like tuning a radio dial. The fifth principle is rhythm. Everything flows out and in. Everything has its tides. All things rise and fall. This reveals that all phenomena move in measured cycles, like pendulums swinging between extremes. Your emotions, energy levels, relationships, finances, all follow rhythmic patterns. Nothing stays at one extreme forever. Market booms lead to busts. Periods of intense creativity are followed by fallow times. Even civilizations rise and fall in predictable cycles. Understanding this principle liberates you from emotional roller coasters and fear of change. When you're experiencing difficulty, you can find comfort knowing it's part of a natural rhythm that will eventually swing back. More importantly, you can learn to consciously ride these rhythms, using high-energy periods for creation and expansion, and low-energy periods for reflection and planning. The master doesn't fight the tide, they surf it. The sixth principle is cause and effect. Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. This reveals that nothing happens by chance or luck. There are no accidents in a universe governed by law. Every circumstance in your life, from health to wealth to relationships, is the effect of prior causes, many of which began as your own thoughts, beliefs, and actions. This principle reveals why thoughts are so powerful. They operate on the highest causal plane. Your current circumstances aren't random. They're the physical manifestation of prior mental activity. Financial struggles often stem from limiting beliefs about money. Health problems frequently connect to emotional states and stress responses. Relationship patterns reflect your deepest beliefs about love and worthiness. By changing the cause, your thoughts, you inevitably change the effects, your life circumstances. The seventh principle is gender. Gender is in everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles. This isn't about biological sex, but about complementary energies present in all things. The projective, masculine, and receptive feminine forces that together create all new manifestations. The masculine projects will and intention. The feminine receives and gives form. Both are equally necessary for creation, and both exist within each individual, regardless of biological sex. In practical terms, this principle teaches the complete manifestation process. Creation requires both the masculine act of clear intention and focused will, and the feminine receptivity to inspiration and intuitive guidance. Most manifestation failures occur from overemphasizing one energy, either too much forcing action without receptivity, all masculine, or passive waiting without directed will, all feminine. Mastery comes from balancing both within yourself. These 7 principles work together as one integrated system. Mentalism establishes reality as mental. Correspondence shows patterns connecting all levels. Vibration reveals the nature of energy. Polarity provides the mechanism for transformation. Rhythm governs cycles of change. Cause and effect ensures orderly creation. And gender provides the creative process. Together, they form the operating system of reality. And by understanding them, you gain the keys to conscious creation. What's extraordinary is that modern science, particularly quantum physics, neuroscience, and consciousness studies, has begun validating these ancient principles. The most advanced scientific discoveries are converging with the oldest wisdom traditions, revealing that the ancients weren't primitive mystics. They were sophisticated consciousness researchers who understood reality's true nature, thousands of years before our instruments could detect it. The famous double-slit experiment in quantum physics demonstrates the principle of mentalism. When unobserved, particles pass through both slits simultaneously as probability waves. But when observed, they behave as solid particles going through just one slit. The act of observation, consciousness itself, determines how matter behaves. This isn't fringe science. It's the foundation of quantum mechanics, confirmed in countless experiments. Reality literally waits for mind to determine what it becomes. Quantum entanglement validates the principle of correspondence. When two particles become entangled, they maintain instantaneous connection, regardless of distance. What Einstein called spooky action at a distance. Change one particle, and its partner responds immediately, even across the universe. This demonstrates the deep interconnectedness of all things, exactly as the ancient principle stated. As above, so below. The universe operates through resonant patterns that maintain connection across all scales. Neuroscience has discovered neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to physically rewire itself based on thought patterns. When you change your thinking, you literally change your brain's physical structure. Buddhist monks who practice compassion meditation develop enlarged areas in brain regions associated with empathy. This validates the ancient understanding that thought is causal. It physically reshapes your brain, which then influences your body, actions, and ultimately, your external circumstances. The placebo effect, one of the most well-documented phenomena in medicine, provides powerful evidence of mind over matter. Patients given sugar pills but told they're powerful medicine often experience real biological healing, reduced inflammation, pain relief, improved immune function. This isn't imagination. It's measurable physical change triggered by belief alone. Your thoughts aren't just abstract. They create biochemical changes that directly impact your physical body. Neuroscience has discovered that your brain's reticular activating system, RAS, acts as a reality filter, determining what you notice from millions of potential inputs. When you decide to buy a certain car model, suddenly you see that model everywhere. Not because more appeared, but because your RAS now flags those previously ignored inputs as important. This scientific discovery validates the ancient principle that your focus determines your reality. Your consciousness literally filters what version of reality you experience. The Maharishi effect studied in over 50 scientific research projects, demonstrates how collective consciousness directly impacts physical reality. When groups of people meditate together with focused intention, surrounding areas experience measurable decreases in crime rates, violence, and hospital admissions. In 1993, Washington, D.C. saw a 23% drop in violent crime during a 2-month meditation project. This validates the ancient understanding that consciousness shapes material reality, not just individually, but collectively. Epigenetics, perhaps the most revolutionary field in modern biology, has discovered that your thoughts and emotions literally switch genes on and off without changing your DNA sequence. Chronic stress activates inflammation genes while suppressing immune function genes. Conversely, positive mental states activate health-promoting genes. This isn't metaphorical. It's literal, molecular biology responding to consciousness. The ancient understanding that mind shapes matter now has a clear scientific mechanism. Now that you understand the principles and their scientific validation, it's time to reclaim your power as a conscious creator. Let's begin with practical applications of the first principle, mentalism. Since reality is mental, your primary tool for transformation is focused consciousness itself. The practice is simple, but requires consistency. Spend 10 minutes each morning in meditation, clearing your mind, and then visualizing your desired reality with all your senses. This isn't mere daydreaming. Neuroscience shows that mental rehearsal creates the same neural pathways as physical experience. Olympic athletes use this technique to improve performance by up to 300%. When visualizing, the key is emotional intensity. You must feel the emotions you would experience if your desire was already fulfilled. The vibrational frequency of gratitude, joy, and conviction is what aligns your consciousness with the reality you wish to experience. Don't just see it, feel it as if it's happening now. To apply the principle of vibration, become mindful of your language, both internal and external. Your words are vibrations that shape reality. Replace "I have to" with "I choose to," "I can't" with "I haven't yet," and "I'm afraid" with "I'm preparing." Each morning and evening, speak aloud 3 empowering declarations in the present tense, as if already accomplished. I am healthy and vital. I attract abundance effortlessly. I create meaningful connections with others. Feel the vibration of these words reshaping your energetic field. To apply the principle of polarity, practice emotional transmutation rather than emotional resistance. When fear arises, don't fight it. Recognize it shares the same energy as excitement, just at a different frequency. Breathe deeply and ask, how can I adjust this energy upward on the spectrum? Fear of public speaking becomes excitement to share your message. Anger about injustice becomes passionate commitment to positive change. Depression becomes introspective wisdom. Remember, you're not eliminating the energy. You're transmuting it by moving along the spectrum. To apply the principle of rhythm, begin tracking your natural cycles. Note your energy levels, creative inspiration, emotional states, and external circumstances over 30 days. Identify patterns. Most people have predictable 3-day, 7-day, or 28-day cycles in various aspects of life. Once identified, plan your activities accordingly. Schedule creative work during your natural high-energy periods. Use natural low-energy times for reflection and planning, rather than forcing action. Remember that challenges are simply the downswing of a natural rhythm that will inevitably rise again. To apply the principle of cause and effect, practice mental vigilance. When facing challenges, trace them back to their causal thoughts and beliefs. Financial struggles often stem from unconscious beliefs like money is scarce or wealth is unspiritual. Health issues frequently connect to stress patterns or self-neglect beliefs. Break the causal chain by identifying and replacing root thoughts. Practice the thought interruption technique. When a limiting thought arises, immediately say, "Stop," and replace it with its empowering opposite. Do this consistently for 21 days to rewire your causal patterns. To apply the principle of gender, practice balanced manifestation. Begin any creation process with the masculine energy. Set clear intentions, create specific plans, and take directed action. Then consciously shift to feminine energy. Remain receptive to intuition. Recognize unexpected opportunities and allow solutions to emerge organically. Most people overuse one energy, either constantly forcing outcomes, excessive masculine, or passively waiting for change, excessive feminine. True mastery comes from rhythmically alternating between projective will and receptive allowance, just as creation in nature requires both seed and soil. Integrate these practices into your daily routine. 10 minutes of morning visualization, setting your vibrational state for the day. Practice conscious language throughout your day, especially during stress. When difficult emotions arise, apply transmutation rather than resistance. Work with your natural rhythms rather than against them. Exercise causal vigilance by questioning limiting thoughts. Balance projective action with receptive allowance. The key is consistency. It's better to practice these principles for 15 minutes daily than for hours occasionally. Reality manipulation isn't about grand gestures, but about persistent recalibration of your consciousness. The power of these principles multiplies exponentially when practiced in groups. When two or more gather with aligned intention, their reality-shaping capacity grows by orders of magnitude. This explains the documented power of group meditation, prayer circles, and mastermind alliances. Consider forming or joining a consciousness practice group where you meet regularly to align your creative energies. Even online groups with shared intention have demonstrated measurable effects on physical reality. The awakening of collective consciousness is crucial for humanity's evolution at this critical time. You now stand at a decisive threshold. There are only two modes of existence: unconscious creation, where you remain at the mercy of your unexamined thoughts and collective conditioning, or conscious creation, where you deliberately shape your experience through disciplined application of universal principles. The difference isn't knowledge, it's practice. Many understand these concepts intellectually, but continue living reactively. True transformation comes only through consistent application. Your awakening matters beyond your personal experience. When you shift from unconscious reaction to conscious creation, you affect everyone around you. Your elevated vibrational state is contagious, uplifting those in your home, workplace, and community. Your clarity of thought helps dissolve collective limiting beliefs. Your emotional mastery creates spaces where others feel safe to grow. In a very real sense, consciously creating your reality contributes to the elevation of humanity's collective experience. This isn't just personal transformation, it's part of a greater awakening occurring across humanity. Throughout history, these principles were hidden in mystery schools, available only to select initiates. But we've entered an unprecedented age, where this knowledge is widely accessible. Ancient texts predicted this time, when large numbers of people would simultaneously awaken to their creative power, catalyzing a shift in the collective experience. You're not just changing your reality, you're participating in humanity's evolutionary leap. With great power comes great responsibility. As you reclaim your ability to shape reality, remember that genuine power isn't about dominating others or accumulating material excess. It's about aligning with your highest purpose and contributing to the greater good. The most fulfilled conscious creators are those who use these principles to elevate others along with themselves. Your intentions matter. Creating from love, compassion, and service generates harmonious manifestations, while creating from fear, greed, or control creates disharmony that eventually rebounds. The true test of mastery isn't found in mystical experiences or extraordinary manifestations. It's in bringing these principles into your ordinary moments. How you respond to a traffic delay, the thoughts you choose when facing a health challenge, the emotional state you cultivate during difficult conversations, the patterns you recognize in recurring problems. This is where reality is actually shaped, not in grand ceremonies, but in the thousands of small choices you make daily. The masters aren't those who levitate objects, but those who maintain conscious creation in the midst of everyday life. Your journey of mastery is just beginning. To deepen your practice, consider studying the original texts, the Kybalion, Emerald Tablet, and other Hermetic writings. Explore modern applications through quantum physics, epigenetics, and consciousness research. Join communities of practice where these principles are applied collectively. Document your experiences in a reality creation journal, noting patterns, successes, and insights. Remember that mastery is not a destination, but a continuous unfolding. Each level of understanding reveals new depths to explore. Before it's too late, before another day passes living below your potential, reclaim your God-given power to shape reality itself. This knowledge wasn't revealed to instill fear, but to awaken your responsibility as a conscious co-creator. The universe isn't happening to you, it's responding to you. Your thoughts aren't passive observations, they're creative forces. Your emotions aren't just feelings, their vibrational instructions to the quantum field. You are not a powerless observer in an uncaring cosmos. You are the cosmos experiencing itself, with the divine capacity to shape reality through consciousness. The time for awakening is now. Let's explore advanced manifestation techniques that combine ancient wisdom with quantum understanding. The first is quantum collapse meditation. Modern physics tells us that until observed, reality exists as probability waves of all possible outcomes. During this practice, sit in complete stillness for 20 minutes, focusing exclusively on one specific desired outcome with unwavering attention. Imagine your consciousness collapsing all probability waves into this single reality. The key is absolute certainty, not hoping or wishing, but knowing it's already done in the quantum field. The second advanced technique is reality anchoring, used by Egyptian priests and modern quantum healers alike. After visualizing your desired outcome, physically anchor it into the material world. Create a simple object that symbolizes your manifestation: a written statement sealed in an envelope, a stone charged with your intention, or a symbolic drawing. Touch this anchor daily while feeling the emotions of your completed manifestation. This bridges the gap between mental creation and physical expression, giving the quantum field a material reference point to crystallize around. The third technique is the emotional transmutation chamber, drawn from Hermetic alchemy and modern energy psychology. When experiencing lower emotions, like fear, anger, or doubt, close your eyes and visualize yourself inside a sacred geometric chamber of golden light. See your emotion as energy of a specific color. Don't resist it. Instead, breathe into it while intending its transmutation. Visualize the energy shifting color as it rises in frequency. Fear, red, becoming excitement, orange. Anger, dark red, becoming passionate commitment, bright red. Doubt, gray, becoming curiosity, silver. This technique doesn't suppress emotions, but transforms their vibrational quality. The fourth technique is quantum entanglement for relationship healing and social harmony. Quantum physics shows that once particles are entangled, they remain connected, regardless of distance. To apply this principle, sit quietly and visualize yourself and another person or group surrounded by the same sacred geometric pattern of light. Imagine your energy fields entangling at the quantum level, creating harmony and understanding. This works even without the other person's knowledge or participation, as consciousness transcends conventional space-time limitations. This technique is especially powerful for healing conflicts, improving communication, and creating resonance in teams or families. The fifth advanced technique is timeline realignment, combining ancient Egyptian concepts of non-linear time with quantum multiverse theory. Sit in meditation and visualize your life as a series of branching timelines extending from your past into multiple possible futures. See your current challenges as simply one possible timeline. Now, intentionally shift your consciousness to a parallel timeline where your desired outcome already exists. Feel yourself merging with that reality version of you who has already achieved your goal. This isn't fantasy. It's consciously selecting which quantum possibility you experience, based on the understanding that all possible timelines exist simultaneously in the quantum field. The sixth technique is conscious dream incubation, practiced in ancient Egyptian and Greek temple sleep chambers, and validated by modern sleep research. Before sleeping, write a specific question or intention related to your manifestation goal. Place this under your pillow or nearby. As you fall asleep, visualize yourself receiving clear guidance or solutions in your dreams. This activates your subconscious mind and connects to quantum information fields during the theta and delta brainwave states of sleep. Keep a dream journal beside your bed to record insights immediately upon waking. The space between sleeping and waking is a powerful creation portal where consciousness can access information beyond normal awareness. The seventh technique is sacred sound manifestation, utilizing the vibrational nature of reality. Ancient traditions understood that sound directly impacts the quantum field. Create a personal manifestation mantra, a short, present-tense statement affirming your desired reality. Chant this mantra 108 times daily, a sacred number in many traditions, while visualizing your intention. For enhanced effect, use the solfeggio frequencies, ancient sound healing tones rediscovered in sacred texts. The 528 Hz frequency, known as the miracle tone, has been shown to repair DNA and align your vibration with manifestation. You can find these tones online or create your own sacred sounds that resonate with your intention. Even with knowledge of these principles and techniques, many people experience blocks in their manifestation process. Let's address the 4 most common obstacles and their solutions. The first block is limiting beliefs, unconscious convictions that contradict your conscious desires. These often originate in childhood or collective conditioning. Common limiting beliefs include, I don't deserve abundance. Spiritual people shouldn't desire material things. Success requires struggle. Or, I must sacrifice health for wealth. These beliefs create energetic resistance that prevents manifestation regardless of your conscious intentions. To overcome limiting beliefs, first identify them through the mirror technique. For 1 week, observe where life seems to reflect the same patterns despite your efforts to change them. These persistent patterns point to underlying beliefs. Next, use the belief transformation process. Write down the limiting belief, trace it to its origin, question its validity with counter-evidence, then craft and install its empowering opposite. For example, transform money is scarce and difficult to obtain into abundance flows easily when I align with my highest purpose. Create a daily practice of writing your new belief 21 times each morning while feeling it as already true. The second major block is emotional resistance, suppressed or unprocessed emotions that create energetic congestion. Many spiritual traditions focus solely on positive emotions, inadvertently creating resistance by denying natural emotional cycles. Remember the principle of rhythm. All emotions serve a purpose in your evolutionary journey. Fear signals preparation needed, Anger identifies boundary violations. Sadness facilitates release. And doubt prompts deeper investigation. When these emotions are suppressed rather than processed, they create dense energy that blocks manifestation, regardless of your intellectual understanding of these principles. To overcome emotional resistance, practice the emotional integration process. First, create sacred space for emotional expression without judgment. This might involve physical movement, vocal release, artistic expression, or private journaling. Second, practice the 90-second rule from neuroscience. Fully feel any emotion for 90 seconds without creating a mental story around it, allowing it to process through your nervous system. Third, use the emotional alchemy technique. Place hands over your heart. Breathe into the emotion while naming it. Thank it for its message. Then visualize it transforming into pure creative energy available for manifestation. Regular emotional integration prevents the buildup of resistance. The third block is energetic misalignment, when your biofield, aura, and chakras vibrates at a frequency inconsistent with your desires. Your energetic system is the interface between consciousness and physical reality, shaped by thoughts, emotions, physical health, and environmental influences. Many people maintain high vibrational thoughts, but neglect their physical vessel or environment, creating mixed signals to the quantum field. Common misalignments include maintaining toxic relationships while affirming abundance, consuming inflammatory foods while affirming health, or living in cluttered spaces while affirming clarity and peace. To overcome energetic misalignment, implement the energy alignment protocol. First, cleanse your physical environment. Remove or transform objects, relationships, and circumstances that vibrate at frequencies inconsistent with your intentions. Second, purify your physical vessel through proper nutrition, hydration, movement, and rest. Your body's cellular vibration affects your entire field. Third, practice daily energy hygiene through methods like salt baths, sound healing, or energy medicine techniques. Finally, create conscious gateways, rituals that help you transition between different environments while maintaining your vibrational integrity. Complete energetic alignment creates coherent signals that accelerate manifestation. The fourth and most common block is inconsistent focus, the tendency to dilute your creative power by constantly shifting attention between different desires or doubting previous choices. The quantum field responds to coherent signals sustained over time. Most people sabotage their manifestations by changing their minds frequently, constantly checking for results, or splitting focus between too many desires simultaneously. Remember that consciousness is the causal force in reality creation. Scattered consciousness creates scattered results. This is why masters of manifestation typically focus on one significant creation at a time until it materializes. To overcome inconsistent focus, implement the focused manifestation protocol. First, practice the single point technique. Choose your most important desire and commit to focusing exclusively on it for 90 days. Write this commitment down and seal it ceremonially. Second, Create a manifestation altar, a dedicated physical space with symbols representing your single focus that you can visit daily. Third, implement the no-looking practice from ancient mystery traditions. After setting your intention, release all concern about results for a predetermined period, trusting the process completely. Finally, use sacred time blocking. Schedule non-negotiable daily periods specifically for visualization and alignment with your chosen manifestation. The ultimate mastery of reality creation isn't found in isolated practices, but in integrating these principles into every aspect of your daily life. Begin each day with a clear intention and energetic alignment. Move through your day with conscious language and emotional awareness. See each interaction as an opportunity to practice polarity shifting and vibrational maintenance. View challenges as feedback from the quantum field, not as obstacles. End each day with reflection and gratitude, reinforcing what you've created and setting the stage for the next day's creation. This consistent integration transforms you from someone who occasionally practices manifestation techniques to someone who lives as a conscious creator in every moment. What you're experiencing now is not happening in isolation. Across the world, millions are awakening to these same truths simultaneously. Ancient texts predicted this time, a period when the knowledge once reserved for mystery schools and secret societies would become widely available, catalyzing a mass awakening. The Hopi call it the emergence into the fifth world. The Maya saw it as the dawn of a new consciousness cycle. The Vedic traditions named it the transition from Kali Yuga to Satya Yuga. Even modern systems theorists recognize we're in an unprecedented global phase transition. You're not just changing your personal reality. You're participating in humanity's evolutionary leap. With this awakening comes profound responsibility. The same principles that allow you to create your personal reality also contribute to our collective experience. Every thought, emotion, and intention you hold affects the morphic field of human consciousness. This is why conscious creators have a special obligation during this global transition. While many are manifesting from fear, scarcity, and separation, creating chaotic collective experiences, you can choose to create from love, abundance, and unity. Your elevated consciousness becomes a stabilizing force during turbulent times, creating harmonic ripples that affect countless others. Remember, the quality of your consciousness directly impacts our shared reality. We invite you to join the growing community of conscious creators who are actively shaping a positive future for humanity. First, commit to daily practice. Even 15 minutes of focused consciousness work creates ripples beyond what you can imagine. Second, find or create a manifestation circle. Group consciousness multiplies creative power exponentially. Third, share this knowledge responsibly with those who are ready, not to convince, but to support those already awakening. Finally, remember that the greatest service you can offer is your own elevated consciousness. By mastering your reality, you create a template that makes it easier for others to do the same. Together, we're creating the foundation for a new era of conscious co-creation. Before it's too late, before another moment passes living beneath your true potential, Make the sacred commitment to reclaim your God-given power as a conscious creator of reality. This isn't about manipulating the external world for selfish gain. It's about remembering who you truly are, a divine consciousness expressing through human form, with the sacred responsibility to shape reality through love, wisdom, and compassion. The ancient masters weren't special beings with unique abilities. They were humans who remembered their true nature and practiced these principles with unwavering discipline. You carry the same creative force within you. The time for awakening is now. The world needs conscious creators. The power has always been yours. Use it wisely.